Hello and welcome into Hawkeye Headquarter Weekly. Evan Denton alongside Joel Keller. We are talking about Iowa's complete beatdown of Wisconsin, 37-0 to retain the Heartland Trophy. Joel, when you saw that final score, what was going through your mind?
Just honestly, just disbelief. I mean, when did this happen? When did Iowa separate so far away from Wisconsin to we're just, I mean, year after year, just beatdown after beatdown.
Mm-hmm. 4 straight victories over the Badgers. The Heartland Trophy remains in Iowa City. Is it fair to say that this was Iowa's most complete game of the year?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, you can be nitpicky with any side of the ball, I think, in this game. But I mean, they put it together, and I mean, you really can't complain too much about a 37-0 win. I mean, not much can go wrong to get that.
Let's start with the offense, and specifically the offensive line. We talked to them on Tuesday at media availability. They don't want the attention, but we're going to give it to them anyway. They were just named a Joe Moore semifinalist for the best offensive line in the country. They paved the way for both Xavier Williams and Kamari Moulton. 5.8 yards per carry against a Wisconsin run defense that's typically been pretty good this year. But the trio of Logan Jones, Bo Stevens, and Jennings Dunker, they are an absolute machine up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are going to be playing on Sundays, that's for sure. And, I mean, we knew they were good, especially week one. They were getting to that second level pretty quickly. And I think this was the next dominant game that we've seen out of them. I mean, they were doing the same thing, open up these big holes. And when you got talented RBs like you do at Iowa and you're giving them the opportunity to get a full head of steam going into that second level, you going up against the secondary, I mean, special things can happen, and they have just, I mean, they've been doing it all year, but they really played their top of their game coming out of the bye.
And when you win the battle of the trenches, it just makes life so much easier for your quarterback, running back, and receivers. Logan Jones, I don't think he gets enough national recognition, but he might be, in my opinion, the best center in the country.
Yeah, he for sure, I think, is. He's the best center at Iowa since Linderbaum, and I would love to see the two go head-to-head, who's better, because, I mean, this is Logan Jones, he's probably working his way up the draft board in the first round, just like Dunker. Like, I mean, to have 2 first-round guys on your line, that's amazing.
I mean, staying next to Jennings Dunker, I know I'm not the biggest guy, but Jennings Dunker, you can't see the sun when you're around him because he's just that massive. And like you were saying, he has really risen up the draft boards pretty quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I've seen some mocks now where he's above our good old friend Caden Proctor.
Right.
So I think I was just texting my friends. I was like, you know what? 10 days out of 10, I'm taking Dunker.
Crazy statement to make, but he's backed it up.
Yeah, no, he's played phenomenal all year, and especially in a week where Gronowski clearly wasn't 100%, but good enough to play. I mean, you can't let him get hit back there, and they protected their quarterback. And a shout out to Mark too for not making the plays to put himself in danger as well. But big shout out to the O-line.
Now, you make a good point about Mark Gronowski. The game plan, obviously, everyone knew they did not want to run Gronowski coming back from his leg injury against Indiana, and the fact that the offensive line controlled the game so well, we didn't have to see too many design runs besides the quarterback sneak at the 1 yard line. Any quarterback can do that.
Yeah.
But the fact that they did not ask Gronowski to use his legs, I think that's very advantageous for Iowa moving forward.
Yeah, no, and it definitely helped getting that early lead, and not having to have Mark run out of the pocket and try and make something happen out of nothing in like a 2-minute drill or something. So, they really supported him as a team, I think.
So obviously we touched on the 1-2 punch of Kamari Moulton and Xavier Williams, but what I was looking at on Saturday was the return of Reese Vanderzee and just how his return really helps to change the Iowa offense.
Yeah, no, and talking to Mark, I mean, he thinks the same thing. I mean, how can it not change the offense? You got RVZ, who is like 6'4", 6'5", coming into a wide receiver group that's got Sam Phillips, who's short, Jacob Gill, who's 6 foot in cleats. It's like he just brings that 50-50 option for Mark to throw to in the red zone down the field that we haven't seen since maybe Brandon Smith back before 2020.
You're dating yourself with that reference right there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm too old yet, but, there's going to come a time where that becomes really dated.
Now, I think, obviously, against Penn State, they have physical cornerbacks. Having someone, like you said, with Reese's size will help in the third down conversion game, and I think that will help to move the chains. on Saturday. But just think about it. I mean, we now have a running quarterback plus Reese Vanderzee. That is completely different red zone offense for Iowa than we had even last year.
Yeah, I mean, last year at the beginning of the year is like, can this team even score if you start them on the 10 and give them like 10 plays? Right. But now, I mean, the offense has already looked so much better from last year, from 2 years ago. And now, I mean, you're adding this component where you got Reese Vanderzee and then maybe like a 3 tight end set on the goal line with Xavier Williams back there, or someone who can really power their way. It's like, how is the defense going to game plan against that?
Absolutely. So let's flip sides now. Let's go to the defense. This is a wild statement, but it's true, all right? Aaron Graves and Bryce Hawthorne are tied for the team lead in interceptions. Those are 2 defensive tackles. I mean, we saw the game against Wisconsin, back-to-back defensive tackle interceptions. I didn't know that Aaron Graves could move that fast in the open field.
No, and I mean, what a crazy way to start the game. I mean, I couldn't watch the game live. I had to go back and watch it, but I have my friend shoot me texts. I'm like, give me like the updates of big plays, like I'm at a wedding, you know, like I have my phone resting on my leg. So I get a text, Bryce Hawthorne pick. Oh, that's interesting. Like let's go. And then I kid you not, like 5 minutes later, basically, after the Hawks finish off that drive with the touchdown, it's Aaron Graves pick 6. I'm like, what is going on in this game? This is the craziest thing like I've ever seen. And I mean, it didn't end up being a pick 6. Right. Too bad. I mean, it'd be really cool for Graves to get that. But I mean, what a start and what a show out from the defense of line from the big guys. Absolutely.
Well, first off, you deserve the Friend of the Year award for going to a fall wedding right in the middle of football season. I don't know if I would do that even for my own wedding down the line, but congrats to you on doing that.
No, I didn't realize how little football I'd be able to watch going to a wedding. It's full day affair. I saw one half of live football action. That was the first half of the 2:30 slate. Okay. Great slate. But it was so hard to keep track of all these games, and so many of them were just like crazy stuff is going on. Texas is going down, or Texas is beating Oklahoma. Penn State's going down, and Iowa's just dominating Wisconsin. It's Iowa State went down to Colorado. I missed out on a lot, but I had to go support my friend, make him not the only guy at the wedding that he knew. So.
Job well done, Joel. Job well done. A suffocating defensive performance all around, but I want to focus on the middle linebacker. It wasn't Jaden Harrell because he was out with injury, but it was Jaden Montgomery, making his first start wearing the green dot, and he helped lead and orchestrate a defense that got a shutout win on the road.
Yeah, I mean, to do that in Camp Randall as your first start, you know it's going to be a big environment, night game. It's just impressive, and he looked really good. I mean, he'd tell you, too, like, you can nitpick some of the things that maybe went wrong, maybe not quite the right gap, but for the most part, I mean, he's making the right plays. He's making the plays that Phil Parker needs him to do, and, I mean, he did a good job commanding the defense, really. I mean, it was just a classic Phil Parker bend-don't-break defense when they weren't having their defensive linemen get those turnovers.
Yeah. And Jaden Montgomery was telling us during availability that he is from Wisconsin, a Wisco native. His dad is an assistant coach for the Bengals, and they just happened to be playing at Green Bay the following Sunday, so he got to watch his son make his first start in college. I mean, that's Disney. If you want a movie idea, I think you need to do a story about Jaden Montgomery, and the fact that he showed out in front of his dad, I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's amazing that it worked out that way. What are the odds? Like, that is just a great story for
Jaden. And when he was telling us that, he was just beaming from ear to ear. He was just so happy that it happened the way it did.
Yeah, you could tell it really mattered to him.
Drew Stevens is back to being the old Drew Stevens. He's now just 2 field goals away from breaking the record at Iowa. Old reliable on the special teams.
Yeah, and if we go back to last week or 2 weeks ago, I think someone in here said the special teams, we got to look at them to work out the kinks, and they're going to come out of the bye week, hopefully, looking like the Iowa special teams unit we know, and that's exactly what they did.
So maybe they listened to our podcast, the locker room. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
So typically we go to college football as a whole, but actually we're getting ready to tip off Iowa men's and women's basketball, and they had media availability this week, and we were actually there for Iowa Women's Media Day. Jan Jensen going into year 2, but there are a lot of new faces on this team. We're talking about 3 freshmen and 2 transfers. We both spoke with Addie Deal, a true freshman high caliber, high talented, very highly talented. She's very confident in herself too.
Yeah, no, and you get a 5-star, you get a top 10 prospect coming in, and you're kind of like, okay, like she was legit in high school, but how is she gonna just embrace Iowa City? You know, this is like the center point of women's basketball. How is she gonna do that? And you know, she is just so confident. It's unlike anything I've ever seen out of a freshman. She's poised. You know, she's talking to media and she's, you know, having fun with it. She's having a good time. It seems like she enjoys the spotlight. And let me tell you, she is ready to score points. She's ready to go out there and ball.
She said, "quote I like to score, I like to assist, but I like to put the basketball in the basket." So yeah, she knows what she's doing. I love her confidence. Also, we gotta talk about one of the transfers. All right, Chit Chat Wright. She got the name because, ironically, she doesn't talk a whole lot. She called the transfer portal, quote, like a dating site, if you will, because you talk with so many different coaches, you talk for a little bit, and then eventually you break up. But she talked about just how genuine Jan Jensen is, and that's why she's here now in Iowa City. I think her plus Addie Deal make a very interesting point guard rotation for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. They'll be able to change it up a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see both of them on the court, maybe even an end of the game situation, because Addie Deal can score. Chit Chat, she can also score, but you talk to any of the players, they are raving about how well she can pass and just feed all these scorers around her and spread the ball. And that's going to be a really fun thing to watch once they start clicking in this Iowa offense.
It's a bit of a change, though, for Iowa point guards because they went from, obviously, the legendary Caitlin Clark to Lucy Olson, who was a phenomenal shooter in the mid-range, good passing as well, but Chit Chat is the complete opposite, where she's pass first, pass second, pass third, then shoot fourth. So we'll have to see how that dynamic works into the Iowa offense. You had a chance to talk to the other transfer, Emily Rodriguez. What did you take away from your conversation with her?
You know, she had kind of a similar idea of the transfer portal, but I mean, when she came to Iowa, she said she knew right away. She had all these other visits lined up, and she was like, she canceled them right away. Wow. Yeah, she knew Iowa was the place, and, you know, I think she has had a good time getting adjusted into Iowa City, and I think she's going to become, I mean, I don't know how Iowa's going to have all these minutes to give out, because it seems like, you know, the two transfers, Chit Chat and Emily, they should be finding the court a lot is the vibe that I'm getting. Everyone is just raving about how they can make the plays, how they can score the ball, even if you're like Chit Chat and she doesn't want to score, but she can. She's got a range that is, I mean, Jan said it was a crazy three-point range, and she's seen, obviously, Caitlin take it from the logo, so it means something. But, you know, they have just a crazy influx of talent.
A younger team compared to years past. 9 of the 14 players are either freshmen or sophomore. But let's talk a little bit about the veteran players. All right, Kylie Feuerbach is back for her 6th season in college. She's been through an injury. She's been through a couple Final Four runs. But now she's stepping into a new leadership role. You had a chance to talk to her. Just how excited is she to step into that leadership role?
Yeah, you know, I think it's something that she really gets to be herself in that leadership role is kind of what it seems like. And you know, she told me that she wants to up the ante on defense. I'm like, wow. In my head, I'm like, how are you going to do that? Like, she's been the best defender in this team since, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Like, ever since she's stepped.
Up there with Getty Marshall.
Yeah. Those two were the anchors in those final 4 years. And, you know, if she can up the ante on defense, she can be a defensive leader. That's what the youth is going to need. Sure, young players can score the ball a lot. What you see them struggle with is defending against other of the top talent. So if Kylie can kind of help them out, maybe take over the Juju Watkins or whoever the top scorers are on their opponent, then I think the Hawkeye team can really flourish.
Is she a dark horse for maybe Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year? Is that too far of a statement?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she can get a couple of steals per game. For her, it's just can she get the statistics to back up what doesn't show up in the box score.
Right. And she's not the other main veteran that's back. Of course, we're talking about Hannah Stuelke. She's been a good part of the offense in the last few years, a couple Final Four trips, national title game appearances, but she's never been that go-to person, the number one person on the scouting report, if you will. Well, she is now, all right? Can she be good enough to make Iowa a legitimate Big Ten title-winning contender, in your opinion?
I think she can. I think she's flashed it a lot. I mean, she had that big 45-point game a couple of years ago. And, last year we really saw her kind of rediscover how she can score the ball, especially when Iowa has a couple other options at the 5 they can go to. So now Stolke, it seems like she can full-time slide into the 4 with Ava Hayden, with Layla Hayes out there. And I think that's going to really expand her game. And, I mean, she's ready to score. She said the thing she's looking forward to the most this year is getting the ball and putting it in the hoop.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence on the offensive side for this Hawkeye team. But just talking to Hannah and seeing her grow from year 1 to year 4, she's now smiling during media days. She's not hiding from the spotlight. She's embracing it. And she played for Team USA this summer alongside Audie Crooks at Iowa State. And she talked about how that gave her confidence and being able to be around some of the best players from around the country, and that she helped Team USA win a gold medal. That helped a lot for her psyche. So I think she'll be able to grow on that, and maybe she can find her way to being a first-team All-Big Ten player this year.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't surprise me in the least. And, I think that experience, too, with Audie Crooks out there on Team USA is going to be really good for her because, I mean, she can take a lot from Crooks' game. I mean, Audie Crooks makes crazy post shots. It's almost like watching Luka Garza when he was on the Hawks a couple years ago. Just the plays that she can make in the post are impressive, especially the fadeaway. And I think if Hannah Stolke can not only take it to the rack, but also fake go into the rack and then kind of pull away and hit a fade, a little post fade, I think that'll expand her game a lot, and it'll make this offense go from great to maybe even elite this year.
And for a third straight year, Carver Hawkeye is sold out for Iowa women's basketball games. I think early on, that's going to be very important to giving confidence to the young players. And I asked them about it, and they're all excited to play at more or less one of the loudest environments in the country for women's basketball. And so they're embracing it. They got a 6th person on the court at all times with the crowd. So it's going to be a fun season, I think, inside Carver Hawkeye for the women's basketball team.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. And I love how they're still getting all the support that they did when Caitlin was there. And honestly, I think it's almost growing. People are even more invested now into the team because it's not just Caitlin out there on the court. You got a whole team of, honestly, like all 14 players on this team can play. They can hoop.
Yep. So a lot of energy and excitement for the women's team. A lot of energy and excitement across the hallway inside the men's locker room. Ben McCollum, a new era is here for Iowa men's basketball. This might be a stretch, Joel. All right. I think Ben McCollum can be Iowa's version of Kursignetti in the fact that he's bringing in transfers, a lot of his own guys from Drake, but he can win instantly. And if he can do that, oh my goodness, the sky is the limit for this team.
Yeah, no, they showed it a lot last year. I mean, Drake was the most common Cinderella pick, I think, in the tournament. And, I mean, there's quite a few reasons why. They have a really sound defense. The offense is just fundamental. Pass the ball, pass the rock, keep it moving, and then get it to your scorers in open space. And Bennett Sturts is one of the reasons why I think McCollum's going to be able to win right away, like you said. And hopefully it turns out where he can make it cook into something more down the line and in the next couple of years, like Cignetti looks like he's going to at Indiana.
Just watching them practice for all of 5 minutes going up and down the court, you can tell that this team has a lot of energy and that they have a collective chip on their shoulder. A couple players telling me that they realized that they were never recruited out of high school by these high Power 5 teams, and now they're here, and they're not just happy to be here, they want to show that they belong. And that goes down from Ben McCollum all the way down his roster. I don't think we've seen an Iowa team with this much wanting to prove people wrong in a long, long time.
Yeah, I think the expectation was just kind of always, sneak into the tournament and see if you can do something special with Fred McCaffrey. And it never quite worked out in their favor to get into the Sweet 16. But, this team, I think they just have a different edge. Like you said, they're ready to go. And the majority of these players are growing up in Big Ten country. And they're about to play all the teams they grew up watching that didn't want them, like you said. And they're going to be ready to go out there and show them what's up.
There are a lot of Midwest roots on this team, but let's talk about the guy, Bennett Sturts, arguably a dark horse for Big Ten Player of the Year if he can beat out Braden Smith at Purdue. Iowa has a taller point guard for the first time in a long time. He will control the pace of play. If they want to go fast, it's up to him. If they want to slow it down, it's up to him. But just having the ball in his hands, he is a legitimate playmaker that Iowa, I don't think, has had for a few years.
Yeah, and I think last year, I mean, you watch him play, he was really good at conference play. But, again, you're just, all right, it's Missouri Valley. Like, let's see what happens in tournament. Tournament, he takes over. And he kind of just showed he's a star, just waiting to explode, basically. And I think Iowa's going to give him that opportunity. And, you know, we've seen scoring from the 4 and the 5, even the 3, basically since Jordan Bohannon's prime collegiate years, since he had such a long career. the like middle 3 were his golden age of Hawkeye basketball. And even Sturtz is more of a playmaker than Bohannon was, more of like a sharpshooter. So we really haven't seen a guy like Sturtz at the 1, and I not in my lifetime, I don't think. So this is going to be really fun to watch, and I mean, they got a hooper right there.
Yeah. You look at last year's national title winner, Florida, between Todd Golden and Walter Clayton Jr., that coach-point guard relationship, they were very tight. Like, they were arm in arm. That's the same kind of thing that I get from Bennett Sturtz and Ben McCollum. I mean, they went from Northwest Missouri State to Drake together to now to Iowa. When you have that close-knit bond between your point guard, who is the coach on the floor, and your actual head coach, good things happen.
Yeah, and, you know, did I hear that? Are you comparing the Hawkeyes to the defending champions? Are you saying a ring is in the future?
I didn't say all that. I said the connection between the head coach and point guard from the national champs last year is very similar, in my opinion, to what Iowa has this year. I am not saying that Iowa is definitely going to win the national championship or even make it to the Final Four. I just see some similarities between those two specific pairings, if you will.
Okay, yeah, maybe sit on that until we get to the Cy-Hawk game. Then we can start hyping the team up a little more. But no, I agree. It's a really good combo. I think down the line too, everyone is kind of familiar with Ben McCollum and the way he runs things, the offense. And I mean, the offense, it's not super complex, but it's not just run and gun. It's not just go down the court, shoot the ball, or toss it inside. It's a little more complex than that. And it's good that they have people who already know how to do it, so it can hopefully down the line they can continue the good offensive play, continue the understanding of what McCollum wants out of the offense.
And you still have many friends who are currently at the University of Iowa. What have they told you just about the student level of excitement with McCollum? Because we've seen Carver Hawkeye for men's games. The attendance has been dwindling for a little bit. Has he brought that excitement back within the students themselves?
I think so. And I mean, dwindling is honestly like the good way to put it. No one really wants to make the walk, because keep in mind it's about a half-mile walk for students at a minimum, and it's in the dead of winter. It's usually at night. The wind chill's usually below 10 degrees, if not 0. So it takes a lot for the fans, the students, to want to come out, and they showed with women's basketball, if you put an exciting element out there, that you're gonna go. And I think that's kind of happening right now with McCollum. We saw it a little bit last year when he showed up, and a good pack of about 100 students had the yellow ties on, and I think it's been growing more and more. And McCollum has done a good job too. He's walking around the student section at football games. People are getting pictures. They're kind of feeling the electricity on the men's basketball team for once.
And they've talked about they don't have a true rim protector the way other teams like Michigan and Purdue have, but they can really, in my opinion, switch 1 through 4 on the perimeter, and so maybe that will help to, I guess, alleviate the fact that they don't have a rim protector. But if they can get in transition, they have a lot of shooters on offense. This team is going to be really fun to watch going up and down. I don't know if they want to get into a half-court game, but if they can control the pace of play, they can really play with anyone in the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the worry for some Hawkeye fans is the offense going to be as good as it was with Fran? And I don't think we'll have to worry too much about it. Yeah, maybe the Hawks aren't scoring 90 to 100 points a game, but all you really need in the college game is 75. Yeah, so they're gonna be in a lot of games in the Big Ten. That's really just wide open. I don't think one single team has really set themselves away from the others. There's a lot of teams that they got the potential to go to the Elite Eight, Final Four, but we'll have to see when the season starts who's legit, who's not.
And the words you used earlier, Sweet 16, all right? It's been a long time since the Hawkeyes have made it to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. Do you think that Ben McCollum can get them to the Sweet 16 in his first year?
I think if there was a coach that Beth Getz would go out and hire that could do it within the next 2 or 3 years, it's Ben McCollum. I mean, he's got that core coming with him, which helps a lot. And he's, like you said, chip on his shoulder, ready to win.
They start off with Robert Morris. It's going to be a very exciting year for the men's basketball team for sure. Let's go back to Iowa football for a second. Their opponent on Saturday is Penn State. If we were talking about this game 3 weeks ago, it would have been the game that Iowa fans would say, you know what, we can finally beat a ranked team. Mm-hmm. Well, since then, James Franklin, their head coach, has been fired. Drew Aller is out for the year. They've lost 3 straight games to Oregon, who's good, but then a winless UCLA, and my Northwestern Wildcats go into Happy Valley and upset the Nittany Lions. How did we get here for Penn State?
The honest answer, I don't even know. You look at their roster, and it's just NFL guy after NFL guy. Like, what went wrong? Is it really a problem with James Franklin? Like, Penn State clearly thought so. The administration up there, they got him out of office. So are we going to see Penn State kind of turn things around now with Franklin gone, or maybe the players not going to be as bought in, knowing that they have that NFL future?
It's just the idea that he's getting paid $49 million not to coach. Penn State has deep pockets. I was not familiar with their game.
Yeah.
$49 million to get him out of there. I cannot believe they fired him, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Maybe they want to get ahead of the coaching search, but they still have Indiana. They still have Ohio State. If they lose to Iowa in those 2 other games, that's 6 losses. They're barely in the conversation for a bowl game. I mean, to go from national title contender in the preseason to barely making a bowl game, that is quite the downfall.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I think it just shows, too, where their expectation is. They got that 3rd loss, and basically the season's over for them. You know, the playoff is out of the picture with 3 losses, or at least it should be. And now, yeah, they're kind of sputtering to the finish line. And Iowa, they got to take advantage on Saturday, you know. You can't just go in and be like, oh, they don't have their coach, they're kind of struggling, and just see how things go. You know, you got to go in there and you want to deliver another death blow. Like, let's get Penn State really down on their season and have them just searching for answers the rest of the year.
I mean, you were with me for the Ferentz press conference. Kirk Ferentz is not taking Penn State lightly at all. He knows about the history of the program and just they always recruit top talent. They brought in a transfer from Troy by the name of Devontae Ross, who Iowa fans know that name for all the wrong reasons because he absolutely torched the secondary and special teams when Troy came to Iowa City last year. I think the Penn State Nittany Lions have Iowa's complete focus.
I think so, too. And you talk to all the players, you talk to Kirk, and it seems like they do. And I think, yeah, they want to shut down Ross for sure. Last year was unlike anything I've ever seen. They could hardly put a hand on him. Kirk said it. Couldn't put a hand on him. And he almost pulled off an insane upset by himself. And that's just a wide receiver.
Yeah, that was one of the better performances from a visiting player that I've seen in a long, long time. Jennings Dunker even said, quote, "We want to get Penn State's best shot." I mean, that's how they're looking at it, so I think the players are bought in. Xavier Wampa echoed that same kind of thing. And there's a very small path for Iowa to get back into the playoff picture, but it all starts with winning on Saturday. If they lose, no playoff whatsoever. But I think it's going to be a crazy environment inside of Kinnick Stadium at night on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's got to, you got like a 4-week home stretch. You can make a lot of noise in those 4 weeks, or you can kind of just roll over and, yep, season's over. Let's go 7-5, get to a bowl game, whatever. So it starts on Saturday. Come out banging, put up some numbers in the first quarter like you have against Wisconsin, and let's see where things go.
If they score first, the Kinnick crowd is going to be going absolutely nuts, and that 12th man is going to be on a different level. So it's going to be a very exciting game, a lot of different storylines to keep track of, obviously. But alongside Joel Keller, Evan Denton for Hawkeye Headquarter Weekly Podcast.